ghetto is. In America, these are very degraded parts of a city where the extremely poor people live, and they're dangerous, right? You don't go out at night, or even in the day, you know. And they put one car that was in perfect condition on the street, and then behind it, one that was in bad condition. And then from the top floor of a building, they did a movie. And they left the cars there for 1 week, unattended. They just did a movie. What do you think the movie showed? Anybody have a good guess?
They painted the car.
They damaged the car. The good car. You think they came and damaged the good car? And graffiti. Okay. Anybody want to take another guess? Because probably a lot of you don't know what it's like in America, in the big city. It's very degraded. Even I don't think in India you get this kind of thing. The surprising thing was that the good car, right off the showroom, was untouched. And the dilapidated car was completely stripped down. The tires were gone. The handle, everything was stripped out of it. Now, what do you think that means? Now, use a little bit of creative thinking. Well, it wasn't a matter of that. Both cars were in an area. The psychology is, if something looks neglected, it invites abuse. Do you understand that? Yeah. If something looks neglected, it invites further abuse. Do you all understand what I just said?
Yes.
Okay, because it's fact. If you see, that's why I'm so particular about materials. People think I'm a little bit of an autocrat or something. But once things start to look bad, then it goes downhill faster. More people see, you know, if you start to see a little pile of garbage somewhere, people start throwing their garbage there. And even if you see, you know, maybe somebody that looks, you know, degraded or something like that, or unfortunate, more and more things will happen to that person. So they figured the car that was in good shape, somebody was watching over that one. But the car that was abused, nobody would care. So that's a little bit of a lesson for taking care of materials. Many of you are teachers, maybe parents. How many of you are parents? Got a couple parents here. That's why it's important for children to be trained and not to be abusive with materials or anything like that. Did you all understand that point?
Yes.
You got it? It's a true story. It's a true story. Okay, so the point is, take good care of what you have, right? It's in the mode of goodness to do that. All right, so we'll say our prayer and get started. Okay, Namo Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami, Iti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gaudavani Prachadine, Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashajade Satarine. Jaya Shri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi, Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And we pray that Krishna may be pleased with all of us today in our attempt to glorify Him. Okay? And one important feature of teaching is to make sure that the students know each other, right? So we all write our names on the magic slate, okay? And you put your name in big bold print before we start. Print is easier to read. Everything I say, I tell you why, okay? Nothing is whimsical. So if we write our name in print, it's easier to read than, do you agree? Okay, we try to demonstrate what we say. So quickly write your name in print, because we have a lot of nice guests today, as well as some newcomers to our class. Okay, plus some old timers. Okay, so we'll start over here, and you hold up your name, and everybody repeat. This is a multi-sensory. This is who? Krishna Das. Very good, Krishna Das. Krishna Das is the one who designed our book, the master teacher. He did the computer work. He also, we were going to ask you to help too. He also is helping on the NOD. He came by and says he's done half so far. So we're going to have a real team of computer people here. Okay? So this is Krishna Das, and this is Shannon. What's her name? Shannon. Very good. Shannon is from Toronto, Canada, and by this Saturday she will be in the VIG. Is that when the class? Friday. Oh, okay. We won't have her association after this. So we're relishing her. She's very sweet. She also knows computer. And she's very sharp, good. 19 years old only. And all the way over here to study VIG. Okay, now we have the Delhiwala contingent here. Okay, and this is Krishna Rupa. Who's this? Krishna Rupa. So, okay, now here's your quiz. Who's this? Krishna, and who's her? Who's that? That's Shannon. So far, A+. Who's this? Krishna Rupa. Okay, A+ so far. Okay, we'll do a little 3 at a time. So it's not, because a big group, it gets cumbersome. So over there, who do we have? Vrindavaneshwari? I don't have my... Oh, Praneshwari, very good. It helps for me to see, because actually my hearing is quite poor, and because I'm not so familiar with all the different names that are of another culture. So this is Praneshwari. Praneshwari, everybody now? No, because this is new. Half of you don't know each other, and half of you do. Okay, Praneshwari, we'll just do a quiz on 3 people. This is an easy one. Krishna Mai. What's her name? Krishna Mai. And who's the one over here? Praneshwari. Very good. This is yo-yo practice. Okay? And we have another one over there, and her name is Radhika Priya. Okay, Radhika Priya. Let's do a 3-part quiz here. Praneshwari, Krishna Mai, and Radhika Priya. Okay, let's do 3 more. Okay, this is, in the middle, Kamala. They're sisters. Radhika Priya and Kamala are sisters. And are you coming back after you go out? For how long are you going to be away? 1 month. Boy, it's going to be a big loss. Yeah, she has to go away for a month. You are going to be able to come back. Good. Sometimes with these visa problems, you never know, Anyway, let's pray hard that Krishna lets her come back quickly. Okay, this is Kamala Mataji, and next to her is... I need to see this. See, that's why I have to do, Ruchika. Ruchika, right? What a nice name, Ruchika. Ruchi, pretty boy. Okay, so Kamala and Ruchika. Ruchika, and Mataji next to you is your... Alka. Well, that's a nice long name. Krishna Alka. What does that mean? Does it have a meaning? What's her name? Do you know what the name is? What means? Does it have a meaning? Hair? Alka. Okay. That's a new definition, Alka. Okay, so Kamala and Ruchika and Alka. Okay. So you all got that one? Everybody got that one? Now let's try. We'll have 3 more here. And this one is? This is Anand? Anand Swarupa. Anand Swarupa. Anand Swarupa. Everybody got that one? Anand Swarupa. This is a good quiz on memory today. We've got a lot of names. Anand Swarupa. Okay, and this is, everyone knows our girl Neela Lakshmi. This is Neela Lakshmi. You'll see her in the Samadhi. Always there doing books. So sincere. Neela Lakshmi, Anand Swarupa, and this is Krishna Rupa. Okay, and then we have a little one over here. You want to hold up your board? Okay, this is Rasamrita. This is Mommy, and the little one is Neela Madhav. Neela Madhav, and he has become a saint. Wow. He's been nominated for sainthood. He's so quiet during class. You can hear a pin drop. Okay. Everybody ready now? Okay. The next step is to get out the Bhagavatam glorification by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Right? These are beautiful prayers. You all have that? Very good. That help us appreciate the beauty of the Bhagavatam. Do you all have it? It's glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Everybody have? Do we have enough now? If not, you have a study buddy. We're all set? Okay. So the first thing we do is use a skill. You know how Krishna holds up his little finger when he plays the flute? Like that. Good. Your right hand. And all of you must understand that concentration in Kali Yuga is difficult. So in books on reading skills, they advise use your hand. Usually we think only children do that when they're learning to read. But the fastest readers in the world use their hands. They can go up to thousands of words a minute. This is not an exaggeration, nor is it something only babies do. So as we're reading, you'll find if you just slide your hand as though you were underlining the material, your mind is fixed. The whole point of yoga is what? To fix the mind on Krishna's lotus feet or on the text. It also has the scientific benefit that the eye will not noticeable to us, will jump back and forth. But if it's watching a point, it stops doing that. So that also improves concentration and rate. Okay, so as you're sliding, as we're reading, right, yeah, the little eye. Little finger is better. In the textbook that I have, they use their index finger, but this is, I think, this helps us think of Krishna. Okay? Okay? Anything that helps us stay in Krishna consciousness. This is the goal of spiritual life. So as you slide, you go along like this, and you'll see it works. You can increase reading rate by 30% just doing that. For those of you doing Bhakti Shastri, you'll see we had many people tell us it helps. Does it help you too? It helps. Okay. We're here to try and give you skills so Prabhupada's books become more beneficial for you. All right. Now the other skill that we teach is to take information and compress it. Just as now you see computers that once filled a big room are tiny little things you can practically wear on your wrist. Compression. So we take example from that, and before we read, we pull out important words that give the essence. Okay? We just get the key words. So what we're going to do before we start reading is give you the key words to what we're reading. Because this is a skill. It works for anything you read. So this is the example. And we'll give signals. This is multi-sensory. All right? So the first key word that we study is nectar. Nectar. Okay? So you can all do a little signal. Right. Because the body remembers more than the mind if you do it like that. It actually 55% of retention goes up if you use the body. So nectar, and then the next key word is fruit. And so now we repeat nectar, fruit, and the next key word is jewels. Jewels. Okay? Jewels. You understand? Maybe you can see study buddies. You help each other. This is a very important Vaishnav skill to serve each other. Okay, so you're going to have nectar and fruit and jewels. All right, those are the first three, like rings and jewels. Okay, so these help you get the essence of what's going to be the text. Because just reading the text, your mind is just reading, but it doesn't take it all in. But if you've extracted the key words, then you can read with understanding much better. This applies to all of your reading. Okay? All right, the next key word after this is vision. Okay? Vision. Right, vision. We'll just do 3 at a time. And the next one is life breath. Life breath. Vision, life breath. Okay, and the next one is the sun. Let's do those 3. Vision, life breath, and the sun. Let's do 6, okay? Nectar, fruit, jewels, vision, life breath, and the sun. All right, so now you've got 6 keywords. You'll find when we read, now you'll see why this is easy to remember. For our group that practices it also, they don't seem to get tired of doing this because it always brings back, well, these passages are nectarian anyway. Okay, now we have a few more, and after this, we actually have 1 left. Just Krishna. That's the last one, Krishna. So the total of 10 key words. Let's go through them one more time. Nectar, fruit, jewels, vision, life breath, sun, Krishna. Okay, so now we'll be repeating after I read. And remember, use your new skills now. You have 2 new skills. Pacing and concentration, and extracting the important words. Okay? Everything we do here is a study skill. It's not just content. Something for you to take home with you. Oh, Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh, nectar. Churn from the ocean of all the Vedic scriptures. O most precious transcendental fruit of all the Vedas. O you who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions. O you who grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world. O life breath of the Vaishnava devotees. O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. You are Sri Krishna, who has kindly returned to be with us. Now, how many of you found that easier? Right, you got the essence now, right? You could probably almost repeat it. For learning slokas, this is a very good skill. You practically know them by the time you've extracted the key point. All right, let's pick the key words now for this next shorter passage. This is just a single sloka. Our first keyword is obeisances. Obeisances. And the next keyword is reading. So now we'll yo-yo practice up and down. Obeisances and reading. The next keyword is bliss. Obeisances, reading, and bliss. All right, now we're going to say the next keyword, rain. Rain. Let's try 4 now. Concentrate, okay? Obeisances, reading, bliss, and rain. And the next one is love. Love. Okay? And then, of course, Krishna. Krishna. And served. That's an important one. Served. And finally, again, Krishna. Okay? So let's try it again. Obeisances, reading, bliss, rain, love, and then Krishna. We'll put Krishna in there, and then served, and finally Krishna. All right, so now you've got the link words, and let's see how they help the flow of our understanding. Because the point is not only to be able to read it, but to understand it, remember it, and relish it. Okay, and the more you're able to understand, the more you're able to relish it. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss. For your syllables rain pure love for Krishna, of Krishna, upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone. For you are a most merciful incarnation of Sri Krishna. Now, do you all remember this one a little better now? Okay, good, because this is first time through. Okay. Be sure you demonstrate this too. The camera's watching. All of you are on video. You're now famous movie stars. So these videos are being uploaded. So we want to help other people out there get the benefit of what you're learning. Okay? So kindly demonstrate so they can say, oh, they're not doing it anyway, why should we? So please demonstrate the skill. Because I think you're agreeing it helps, right? Yes. These are scientific. All of this is coming from books on accelerated learning. Now on the next sloka, we have all the things that the Bhagavatam is. Because the Bhagavatam is Krishna. So we'll notice all these things that we're reading are actually Krishna's relationship with us. So the first thing is he is a friend. And next is companion. So the first one is friend. And the next one is a companion. The third one is teacher. So let's repeat. Friend, companion, and teacher. And then the next one, what everybody looks for, is wealth. Wealth. Okay, Prahlad said money is the honey, right? Money. The next one is deliverer. He's a deliverer. Okay, let's try these so far. Friend, companion, teacher, wealth, and deliverer. And good fortune. Good fortune. How about repeating the word bliss? This keeps coming up. Krishna consciousness is bliss. All right? And the last one is, again, obeisances. Okay, let's try reading it and see if you can find it's easy to read this now. O Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh, my only friend. Oh, my dear companion. Oh, my teacher. Oh, my greatest wealth. Oh, my deliverer. Oh, my good fortune. Oh, my bliss. I offer my heartfelt obeisances unto you. Did you all find that easier now? I bet you could probably say it from memory practically, right? You're good. You're all going to become slokawalas now. You're going to be able to remember. You agree, Krishna Rupa? Those should help them, huh? Okay. Do they all study slokas in your group too? Yes. This might help them also, huh? This little skill. Right, very helpful. Okay, now we have one more very, very important verse, especially for those of us who came from the West, where we find that Krishna consciousness has transformed us quite amazingly. I think even in India we're finding, even the cities are now in need of transformation, right? So here we're going to have a contrast of saintliness and unsaintly. And a contrast uplifter and fallen. And then we're going to have a request. Never leave. And then we're going to have manifest in the heart and in the throat, accompanied by Krishna praying. Because it's a fact. Why do preachers of Krishna consciousness find themselves able to preach? They're overflowing with love for Krishna, and it has to come through that's how they preach. The preaching is a symptom of an overflowing heart. A heart that's not overflowing won't preach. So you see, the preachers are overflowing with love for Krishna. Okay, so let's try to see reading this one and how it helps you. O Srimad Bhagavatam. O giver of saintliness. To the unsaintly. O uplifter of the very fallen. Please don't ever leave me. Please become manifest in my heart and my throat, accompanied by Krishna Prem. Okay, did y'all like that verse? That's a nice verse. It's a nice prayer. So let's say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama.
Hare Hare. And did you notice that's a signal everybody does automatically? They don't even have to be asked to do that one. Okay, so you may all pass around these little because I hope you like the reading of this Bhagavatam prayer. Such a beautiful prayer. Some of the Sanskrit people chant this before reciting Bhagavatam. Think too, as things are going around, close your eyes, utilize every moment in Krishna consciousness. It's priceless. Our time is limited in these bodies, so every moment lost is unfortunate. So think back now. Can I remember most of the points of those prayers? You'll be walking down the street going like this, and somebody will think something's gone. They'll see you doing all these things. You can teach little girls to do this and say it's the new Bharatanatyam. Okay? Are we all ready now? So now we will take out our magic slates. You've been waiting to try these out. In the old days, they would put them on airplanes for children. Now children have all these iPads, and they don't go. This is old time. But it works for us. I mean, if I ever inherit millions of dollars, you'll all come and I'll give you each an iPad. You can work on it. Okay. So we're all set now? So you're going to imagine this is an iPad, all right? So the first thing you do when you open something up, I had to open up the computer, is I have to find the files, right? And if you know how computers work, they're systematic. One file, and there'll be a file inside of that one, and a file inside of that one. So study should be that way. Study, this is a skill. You work systematically. You don't just start with little pieces here and there. You become confused. Just imagine in your house, if all the things in your house, we don't want to imagine it, but there was a big windstorm, and everything got, would you be able to find things easily? No. But if you're organized, you know where the cooking supplies are, the deity paraphernalia is, where your laundry is, right? It's organized. So organization is an important skill. Okay, and systematic. So you're going to open now your little iPad. And the thing you're looking for is this. What is this? Right, you want to go to the Srimad Bhagavatam. So just imagine that you press that icon and it popped up. Okay. Now you erase that. Write nice and big, because the whole idea is impressions, samskaras. Okay? So the next thing we want to go is we want to go to the file that's Canto 6. And we put a slash mark here. And our computer shows that it is 19 chapters in size. How big is it? 19 chapters. Now you notice our process here is you see it, you hear it, you say it, and you write it. Because if you do 4 things, it's called multisensory. And you remember more. You all agree? Okay, so all you know now, we're in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, 19, and you erase it, and very quickly you write it a second time. Don't be afraid to write a lot. The board is great, it doesn't waste paper, and it's fun. Okay? Kids like it too. 619. So everybody knows that. How many people before right now did not know that there were 19 chapters? So we have some new learning today, right? We have new learning. Another skill in study is to note your progress. I didn't know this, but now I do. And that is what we call motivation to learn more. If you're actually learning, you want to continue learning because learning is enjoyable. Okay? You don't need to sugarcoat it, bribe children. Learning is naturally what the jiva wants to do, especially learning about Krishna. So now everybody knows that there are 19 chapters in the 6th canto. Okay, now we're ready for more knowledge. Remember, we work systematically. This canto has 1, 2, 3, 4 major topics. How many? 4 major topics. Okay? We're going to go over this pretty quickly because we want to. Last time the people in this group learned the chapter titles. So we want to go fast for them, but also spend enough time so the newcomers can do that. And go to still further detailed information today. So how many divisions are there in this canto? 4. Very good. Now what we're going to do is, we know 19 is the number of chapters. We're going to see how they are divided amongst these 4 topics. Okay? So in our study guide written by Narayani Mataji, she has done that. She has written very good study. We don't have the study guides passed out today, but just take it for our word that the first topic has how many chapters? 3. Okay, and let's think of something Krishna conscious that's 3. 3 modes, good. Always think of something Krishna conscious. And the next one also has. So we have 2 sections that are also 3 modes, okay? 3. Right, you can think the guna avatars, the 3. Right, there's so many things 3. Okay, the next one is 7. What can you think of 7? 7 mothers, that's a good one. So let's say the numbers now. 3, 7, and the last one, think of this. The 6 Goswamis. So we have the 3 modes, and then we have the 3 guna avatars, and we have the 7 mothers, and the 6 Goswamis. So you erase that and quickly write it fast again. Because by writing it, it goes into it's a samskara. We're actually trying to create samskaras so that when our life period is over, we have only Krishna conscious samskaras. This canto is a very heavy one. Very heavy one. You'll find out how critical of a condition we're in. And every moment has to be given to Krishna consciousness in pure loving devotion. Okay, was everybody able to do this? Now what you do is find your study partner. So you 2 are study partners, you two, and both of you and you. Now turn so you can help her, and Krishnadas and I, and Rasamrita and Neela. And he's playing with a toy. Okay, was everybody able to do it? Now your study partner is what you call I'll write the word out so you see it. P-E-E-R. This is an English word. Here, it means someone who's your equal. Peer, someone who's your equal. And you all know in school, sometimes you have to hire a tutor if you're having trouble with the course. Now, hiring a tutor can be very expensive. But in here, our class, we call them study buddies. Your study buddy will not charge you a lot of money. They won't charge you at all. Very good. Now you see, you got Krishna had mercy on you. Okay. And I don't want to have her for my study buddy. So your study buddy will check to be sure you understood it, got it right, and if you need help, your study buddy will help you. This is a good way to create friendship in study. Positive association. This is what they really call Sat Sangha. Sat means truth. Krishna. It's not getting together and talking about the latest news in the papers. Okay? Peer tutor. Okay? So now you know who your peer tutor is. All right? So you've done that. Let's put this up one more time. Each time we do something, try to be like these little kids or wizard kids on cell phones and computers. Try to be faster. Okay, then your study doesn't become tedious. And it also helps drill in the point. Now we're going to put a letter over each one of these. The first one is the letter A. And we'll do a signal and give you the name that you're going to remember now. This is for Ajamil. Ajamil is being dragged away by the ropes of the Yamadutas. Very important section. Even though you may know the story, this is a deep, deep section. Ajamil. Okay? The next one is D, and this is for Daksha. Daksha. And Daksha, in this case, is cursing Narada Muni, so we're going to be pointing. If you remember in the 4th canto, he was offending Shiva. In the 6th canto, now he's cursing Narada. Right? So in the 4th canto, we use the signal like the goat. But now he's taken birth again. And he still hasn't learned his lesson. Yeah. Yeah, he takes birth from the Pachetas. So this is Daksha. In the 6th canto, this is the signal. In the 4th canto, it's the goat. Okay? Because it takes 2 different births. Number 7, we put a V. And this is the demon Vritrasura, and his head is cut by the thunderbolt of Indra. It takes 1 year to do that. So you have Ajamil and Daksha and Vritrasura, and the last one, Vritrasura was actually Chitraketu in his previous life. Now Chitraketu in this section is flying over Shiva's abode in an aerial mansion, and he sees Shiva with Parvati on his lap, and even all the other sages are there not disturbed. He sort of smiles and says, oh, look at that. And Shiva's indifferent, but Parvati curses him, and he accepts it. So he has to take the body of the demon Vritrasura. So you'll see how these all tie together, and actually how the 6th canto has been tied in with the 5th canto. Okay, so this again, let's do our signals with our letters. The first one is Ajamil, and your second one is Daksha. And then, watch your study partner here. You got to keep him. You do it too. Don't be afraid. He's shy. Actually, if you start doing it, you know what will happen? You'll have fun. Oh, he can't follow. Okay. You speak Hindi with him, okay? Yeah, see? Chitraketu, yes. And look he started to smile. When the teacher sees the students smiling, they're happy. When the students are sitting there, they fall asleep. So the thing is to keep them busy and happy. Every mother knows that, right? Busy and happy, yes. Otherwise you have trouble. True? Yeah, that's just Krishna consciousness. If in one moment you're not in Krishna consciousness, you have to be in Maya consciousness. So the idea, yay, is keep them smiling and busy. Okay, it's true, it's true. Any of you that had to teach or raise a child, you know you have trouble on your hands. All right, now, here's your quiz. Are you ready for your test? Yes. Good. Quickly erase your board. Don't look at your neighbors. And here's your exam. You write all those things on your board now. The parts, the size, and the letter code. Did he do that? Oh, very good. Very good. And now your peer tutor will decide what your grade is. Neela, make sure your new student over there gets 100. And you keep asking him if he's having a good time. Indeed. You're the teacher now. They have to have a good time. Because they say if you learn something with pleasure, you remember it better. My goodness.
So we have 5 Delhi-walas.
5 Delhi-walas. And you the numbers. You said the 3 numbers.
That he has only drove us from Delhi over here.
You're the driver. That's Krishna's role. The chariot to drive. He's a Maharati. Maharati. Yes, we'll say thank you, boy. Yeah. The Rat. Fantastic. Next time you read it, okay. Okay, so we all set. How many of you got 100% on your quiz? Joy. 100%. Please give yourselves a score. 100%. That's good. Did all of you get 100%? Everybody? Okay, you help her. Let it try one more time. Have her do it one more time. We want to make sure everybody gets 100%. Because if you go on and people are lagging, that's not nice. We want everybody to have. I'm responsible to make sure everybody gets 100%. Okay? Takes a little more time, but it's very learner friendly. We don't want some people to feel, oh, I'm not so good. No. Everybody can do it if we help each other. Competition is very, very discouraging for most. Oh, okay. Very good. He's doing the podcast. Because competition means one person wins and everybody loses. And then you have one happy face and 99. No, we want everybody to be happy. Okay, you all got it? All right. Now we're going to turn our slates this way, and very quickly we're going to take out our other sheets, and the ones that have the chapter title lists. Right, and if you don't have to take the pages out, you open them up to the 6th canto. This little set of sheets has 335, how many? 335 chapters listed. How many of you knew that? No, in the Srimad Bhagavatam there are 35 chapters. Do you know how many cantos there are? That you knew. Very good. 12 cantos. Do you know how many themes there are? There are 10 themes. Good. And there are 335 chapters. Now, this little family, Rasamrita and Anand Mohan, at one point, I don't know if Raghav's up to it so much, but he knew most of the chapter titles. Up to the 10th canto he knows. And there's one Maharaj, Radha Govinda Swami. He knows all 335 chapter titles and their links, how they connect. He can very easily take you right through the Bhagavatam. So this is a very important skill. If you can actually mentally go through the Bhagavatam and see how it's connected, you can organize your information. You know where the pastimes are, what the point is, what the connection is, what the lesson is. Because today we're going to focus not on just facts, but on the important instructions for us. This is deeper today. Okay. 335 what? Chapter titles, right? And also, according to Narayani's book, in the whole Bhagavatam, she has designated 55 major topics. How many? 55. So in the 6th canto, we have how many? 4. Let's go over those facts again. 12. What? 12 cantos. How many themes? 10. Oh, here's a good one. How many verses? Very good. And how many topics? 55. And how many chapters? 335. Okay, this is general information on the Bhagavatam. How many of you just learned something? Very good. Okay, quickly tell your neighbor those important. This is what you call general information on the Bhagavatam. Okay? Very simple, but it's helpful. Always nice to have something new to remember. And this is easy too. Very easy. Okay, are we ready now? Did you see, were you able to follow? I don't like to look at myself because, you know, I'm afraid if I see myself in the movies, I don't watch anything I do, honestly. Now you can utilize it, yeah. Yeah, now the book. I'm just afraid if I see it, I'll freeze. You know, it's better for me to pretend the camera's not there. If other people benefit, fine, but I don't watch anything I do. It's too scary. Very good. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, hopefully more of these videos will help people to go more deeply now. Because we want to show people how to, it's not just learning a bunch of fun facts. We're actually trying to take people into the Bhagavatam systematically. You know, so that eventually maybe many more people know 335 chapter titles. They know 55 topics. They know how to analyze the progression of the themes.
So now my students know section-wise chapter 1 and 2.
Very good. Very good. Fantastic. Well, it gives people a lot of mercy doing this, by the way. Okay? Oh, the 10 themes? Okay. The 10 themes really fast. Are we ready? This is very important. Are you ready? We'll do a revision on the 10 themes of the Bhagavatam. Let's just take 1 minute to see how fast we can learn 10 themes now, because speed is important. Make a little circle. Turn your slate this way. Then make 3 little branches. And then on those, put 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You see it? So you have 3 lines with 3 each. How many? 9. Okay. It always helps to break things up. This is a study skill. Don't try to take in the whole thing. Divide it up. Just like when you pronounce a big word. You say, transmigration. You break it up. So when we study, when we have a lot to learn, we break it up into easy parts to remember. 7 is maximum. Over 7, break it up. They've proven if you try to remember more than 7 items, the mind shuts down. I think in the computer they even say 7 bits make a byte. Yeah. There's a certain size at which it's too much load, and then you have to divide it. Even the Bhakti Vriksha programs, when they get more than 15, they break them up. Because there's an optimum There's an ideal for learning. If it's too big or if it's too small, it's not good. Then there's no impetus. Like this is a nice sized group. If you get fewer than 7 people, it starts to get a little, but you get about, they say between 7 and 15 is ideal. Okay. Big numbers can be managed, but it's harder. Okay, so you have your 3 little thing. Okay, so you're going to put S, V, S. What are you going to write? S, V, S. 2 S's and a V in the middle. Let's do the signals for those. Okay, the first one is Sarga. This is the creation coming from Mahavishnu. This is the first creation. Sarga. What is it? Sarga. This is creation. The V is for the second one, Visarga. This is the secondary creation. This is the one that Brahma does in each universe. Okay, so your first one is Sarga. Sarga, the bubbles coming out of Mahavishnu. The second one is Visarga. This is Brahma's creation. The next one is called Sthana. Sthana. This is maintenance. Once something is created, it has to be maintained. If you create something and don't take care of it, what happens to it? It disintegrates. So you've learned the first 3. What are they? Sarga, the bubbles coming out. And then next one is Visarga. And the last one is Sthana, maintenance. Right? Balance. This is Vishnu, maintaining something. These pretty much have to do with the creation. The next 3 pretty much have to do with the living entities in the creation. Okay? So we're going to put P, and then U, and then M. P, U, M. P is, in Sanskrit, Poshana, which means protection. Protection, especially for the devotees. You'll hear about that in all the cantos. By the way, these themes are not just canto by canto. They go throughout the cantos. You'll see them repeated again and again and again, each time in more depth. Poshana, protection. U is for uti. Uti means the impetus to do work. Right? When you wake up in the morning, you're first a little bit drowsy, right? But then Super Soul reminds you, oh, I have to pay my obeisances. I have to mop the floor or where I slept. I have to go off and, brush my teeth and wash, right? Super Soul reminds you how you can continue your work, the creative impetus. Everybody is here. He does his work. He has the desire, the drive. So that's called uti. What's it called? Uti. Poshana, protection. Uti, the creative impetus. And then there have to be laws by which mankind can realize his self. And those are the reigns of the Manvantaras. M is for the Manvantaras, the reigns. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. These are laws by which the universe functions. Whether people want to follow them or not is their problem. But they're there and they must be followed. Poshana, Uti, and the Manvantaras, the reigns of the Manus. They set down the law books. Sarga, Visarga, Sthana, Poshana, Uti, and Manvantaras. Okay, now, the next section is the one that directs us to the conclusion, to the goal. So here we have I. I is for Isha. Isha means Lord, right? Ishana Kata. These are the pastimes about the Lord. You will find the pastimes about the Lord throughout the Bhagavatam. Vishnu Kata. Because by these pastimes we become attracted and purified. It's the goal to talk about Krishna's pastimes. Vishnu Kata. Okay? Now the creation has taken place, but then its winding up also takes place. Creation and annihilation. So the next one is called N, Nirodha. Nirodha. Nirodha is the annihilation, the winding up. Right? When those bubbles come out, they also go back in. And all the living entities are taken right back into the body of Mahavishnu to be asleep for inconceivable amount of time. We've all been through it. Every one of us here has been in and out of Mahavishnu repeatedly. Hopefully we will be ending this. That's why we're studying Canto 6. How do we end this horrible birth and death and asleep in Mahavishnu and in and out and changing bodies one after another through 8,400,000 species and suffering like anything? Finally, we're fortunate enough to try to wake up. Vishnu Kata, Nirodha, the winding up, and L is for liberation. Liberation. Now, many different understandings of liberation, but liberation actually means attaining your Swarup and entering into your eternal service. That is the highest understanding. Some people think liberation means attaining the Brahman. It depends on the level of your God consciousness. But for the devotee, liberation means your Swarup and entering into your eternal service. Sarga, Visarga, Sthana, Poshana, Uti, and the Manvantaras, and then Vishnu Kata, and the Nirodha, the winding up again, and liberation, whatever you are, gopi or whoever you are, cowherd boy. And the last one is the goal, and this is the Ashraya, A, the shelter, the Samam Bonam. This is the Samam Bonam, Ashraya. Ashraya. So those are the 10 subjects of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So how many of you learned something today? Yay, good. Very good. Some of you may have already known this. You know all this, all right. Okay, let us now go back into our 6th canto, and we've done the breakdowns. We know the size. Now here, I want you to turn your slates because we have to work really fast. Make a big circle at the top and put 3 eyelashes on that one. We're going to take the first section and we're going to write 1, 2, 3. Because now we're going to give you the code letter so you can memorize quickly 3 chapter titles, because some people know this already, so we have to move fast so we can go more deeply today. This is the section on who? And how many chapters? 3. Now, take a look at your list of chapter titles. We're going to put a letter. Remember, we compress, so we learn fast and we remember easily. We're going to put a letter A for the first chapter. So on your slate, write A, because some of you don't know this. So more of you don't know it than those who do. It's good practice for those who learned this last time. Number 2, we're going to put V. And for number 3, we're going to put Y. A, V, Y. Did you all write your code? Codes are the fastest way to remember. Just the way they do in chemistry, just like initials, they'll say A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. You don't have to say the whole thing. It takes a lot of time. But if you know what they mean, it goes fast. Okay? A is for who? Ajamil. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3. What's the code for Chapter 2? And why? Right, Yamaraj. And A? Ajamil again, right. Okay, erase it and write it again really fast. Okay, you got it? Check your study partner now. You have to keep an eye on your partner. She learned this already. This is revision for her. She came over one day to meet me, and we dragged her through this process. She's expert. Did we do more? We just did 6, right? We didn't do more than that. We did 6. Okay, so there's still something new for you too today. Okay. You did it okay? You did it, Krishna Maharaj? She's okay? Check your partner. Everybody get 100%? Okay. So now let's say the whole thing. The chapter title for number 1, take a look at your list, is called The History of the Life of Ajamil. And note, this is a history. This is not a myth. It is not a story. This is a fact. And we're going to find out why we hear this story. It's one thing, oh yeah, the story of Ajamil, I know that. But how many of you know why the story was told? This is where it gets deep. Why are they telling this story? Why are they telling it at the beginning of the 6th canto?
Because actually the description of the hellish planets was given.
Yes, it's a link. It's a link. Very good. It's a link. The Bhagavatam cantos are linked. And there's another reason it's being told. It's being told about the benefits of Bhagavad Dharma over sub-religious principles. So 2 main reasons. It's a link with the 5th canto and the preeminence of Bhagavad Dharma over sub-religious principles. Okay? So did you get that really fast? Everybody get the points? The history of the life of Ajamil. Okay, and we're also going to talk about how a particular chapter unfolds. And a whole section. So you see how the Bhagavatam progresses from recap, link, questions, doubts, answers, levels of answers, conclusion, and finally benedictions. See, benedictions are at the end of each of these sections. Okay, so let's take a look again. Now we have to learn the title for number 2. This one is Ajamil is delivered by the whom? Right. So we have chosen a new word now. We have Ajamil. So Ajamil is delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. Quickly, what's the first chapter title? The Life of Ajamil. And number 2? He's delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. Now, again, even when you look at that chapter, the progression follows. A question is asked. The reason for the question is asked. There are doubts. I'm in doubt. Answers are given according to different levels. And at the very end, there will be conclusions. Every chapter will unfold in that way. You watch it. You notice the questions are being asked not just to talk about something, but to actually answer doubts that people might have. You see, they have doubts and they'll say, please explain this to me. I don't understand this. Okay, and number 3, what was your key word? Yamaraj. And what does Yamaraj do? He instructs his messengers. And guess how that chapter starts? They go back to Yamaraj and they ask questions. And why do we ask the questions? Because we're in doubt. You notice? And when it ends, there will be a topic summary and a complete benediction. You watch it when you see the Bhagavatam, it's like that. It unfolds in that way. It's presented in a certain way. Okay, erase this, write it again, and see if you and your study partner can tell the whole 3 chapter titles to each other, okay? She's your study buddy in Delhi. Very good. See also if you can explain to your study partner how the Bhagavatam unfolds in these chapters. I wanted to add one more point. There's usually a review, just the way we review. At the beginning, a review of major points that link to the previous canto. So there'll be a link of review. Oh, in Canto 2 we learned about Pravritti Marg. Oh, in Canto 3 we learned about the different, he said 3. In Canto 4 we learned about the different dynasties, Priyavrata, Uttanapad. Canto 5 we learned about the hellish planets. And then in Canto 6, then we went, oh, how can we be saved from going there? That's why Canto 6 is so important. Because that's the question. We've just heard about the hellish planets. Terrible suffering. And everybody who's in a material body has to suffer reactions. That's all of us. So how do we prevent going down to hellish planets? Is this an important canto? Yes. It's not just an interesting story about a Jamil. This is all of us. We've been going up and down and up and down and up and down. Every action has a reaction and everybody's accountable. No escape. So how do we stop this? These 3 chapters will lead us to the conclusion. The only way is Bhagavad Dharma, devotional service and love to Krishna, and the best way is by the chanting of Hare Krishna. That theme is so big in this section. So now the story about Jamil is a little bit more important, isn't it? Very important. Okay, you know all 3 chapter titles now? And you see how these chapters unfold. A link, a question, a doubt, an answer according to different levels, conclusion, and ultimately a benediction for just hearing it. Just hearing this section, one is relieved of sinful reactions. Just hearing it. So important to hear Bhagavatam. You're all fortunate. Okay? Let's go to our next section. You all got the first 3? We have one more class next week in the month of June. One more Bhagavatam class. Because I think what I want to do today is we'll just do 6 and we'll work on our Excel sheets today. Okay? Because I want to take everybody more deeply. All right, now, second section is D is for who? How many eyelashes do you put? Because remember, we're teaching you a skill. This is a good way to do things, using codes and little eyelashes. And what numbers are you going to put? 4, 5, and 6. Now you want to learn those 6? Okay. 4, 5, and 6. And take a look at your list of chapter titles. Look at chapter 4, look at chapter 5, and look at chapter 6. Now, ask yourself, if you were teaching the class, what would you suggest to be the code letter? H, right, H. And what's H stand for? The Hamsaguya prayers, okay? Did you see chapter 4? Can you all find it? Help your study partner. You don't have a sheet, do you? Okay. You can take a peek at her sheet too. Okay. Yeah, you can share him. Yeah. Yeah, he can. Okay. Rasamrita, by the way, knows the chapter titles as well as her son for 10 cantos. Just to go, it shows you, mothers can also do this too. Okay? The Hamsaguya prayers. Now in this chapter, Daksha has been ordered to create progeny. He has had to take birth. Again, this links to chapter 5. The Prachetas are mentioned again. They're mentioned in Canto 6 also, as well as Canto 5. He takes the birth of the son of the 10 Prachetas and Marisha. She's the daughter of the trees. She's the daughter of the trees. So this is an unusual instance when a female has more than one husband. Usually in Vedic times, a male can have more wives. Marisha and Draupadi are unusual. They have more than one husband. She has 10 of them. And one son, and he is who? Daksha. Daksha. And he has to create the progeny for the planet. It's quite a big job. So he has to go pray for this. So we have his prayers, and they're called the what? Hamsaguya prayers. Okay, and number 5. Oh, here he makes his mistake again. Who should we put the initial for? And for who? Right. Narada Muni is what? Cursed by Prajapati Daksha. Now they've given him the title Prajapati. Prajapati Daksha. You can explain that to him? You want to show him the titles? Because he's going to have to hear that in Hindi. So keep him happy. When he's not smiling, it means you're not helping him. You have to be a good peer tutor. It's compassion, right? So what's the title again? Narada Muni. He's cursed by Prajapati Daksha. Okay? And what's going to be our letter for number 6? Right, he has had in this, the reason he curses Narada is he had 10,000 sons that go off to renounce, and they don't want to be progenitors. Then Narada convinces another 1,000 sons to go off and renounce. And Daksha really gets carried away with his blasphemy. So Narada Muni is cursed by Prajapati Daksha. So in the 6th chapter, we get all of the lists of the progeny of the daughters. So we'll put D for daughters. He has 60 daughters who fill the whole universe with all kinds of progeny, not just people. Snakes and birds and fish and reptiles. All kinds. Okay? So, H is for the Hamsaguya prayers, and Prajapati Daksha, cursed by Narada, and progeny of the daughters of Daksha. Now this is getting a little tough, but turn to your study partner and see if you can erase this, put the codes, and practice the titles. And then we're going to take out our condensed version and do a little reading and start filling out our Excel chart. How many of you have ballpoint pens with you today? How many of you need a pen? Raise your hand. Okay, so I'm going to bring around some pens. And remember, we humbly request you not write on the, press on the magic slate when you're writing with a pen. Yes, if you could take these around, I hope they're all in good order, working order. Here, this is another good one. It's okay, there you go. Now, I'd like you to write your names on your Excel sheets on the upper right-hand corner. And remember, please try not to press on your magic slates. Put your magic slates away or in your tray. You'll need them. I just wanted you to take a quick look of a book that Krishnamai found reprints of. Thank you so much. This book has the progression we talked about. Here you see what stage of the 10 subjects? Sarga. Sarga. And this one? Visarga. Congratulations. Very good. Now, we're also introduced, this is a good book for young learners. You see Shiva and his three the different names of his consort, Parvati, Durga, and Kali. And of course the time factor, which affects all of us. And here again we have, the three guna avatars and their function. It's a very nice progression. And here the different devas. The different devas are shown. These are parts of the body of the Lord. They're administrators of universal affairs. But here, this is the interesting one. You see all of these ladies here. It looks like they're holding up a dish or a plate. And these are the wives of Kashyapa. Because Daksha has 60 daughters, and he marries 17 of them to Kashyapa. 10 of them to Yamaraj, and some to Agastya, and to the moon god, and to Bhuta. So 60 daughters, but 17. And here inside, when you go through the book, you'll see different ones have different progeny. Some have fish, and some have vegetation, and some have insects. Yes, and some are reptiles. Yes, some are the mothers of reptiles. It's surprising, isn't it? And some of them are birds. Yes, the different progeny, his daughters, produce different species. Now, I don't know how many of you here would be, if, Krishna said, okay, you have to be the mother of the birds, and you have to be the mother of the fish, and you have to be the mother of the snakes. You say, oh no, I want a different part to play. And here, this one of the animals, and then humans. That one's okay, right? Okay, and then here's the transmigratory process. This is a very nice little book, available now in the market. It was out of print. And here are the different varnas. And meditation, Paramatma realization. It's amazing. A lot in this little, wonderful for children. But how many of you didn't know that Daksha's daughters had to produce? It was worth the trip from Delhi, wasn't it? It's a work from trip from Delhi. Okay. Actually, I have a brand new copy of that book upstairs, and I think we should present it as a gift to this study group. She's so kind. She gives me things, and she's the lady who just blessed you with a copy downstairs of this book. Would you like to take a copy of this book?
Yes.
Brand new one downstairs. Okay. We should order more. Actually, I'm going to give you some money to get some more. You think there are more in the market? Yeah, because this is a wonderful book for children. Because you are so kind today. I have one downstairs. We'll send it back with them. And I will get some more. It's a nice gift. Because this book was out of print for many years. Many, many years. Okay? You can take that back and the children will love this book. All right, are we ready now to work on our Excel sheet? What you need to do is put your name on the upper side, or you can write it on the side. And please write on your writing board, your drawing sketchboards. Please not on your magic slates. And then what you're going to do is put SB in the block, 6.1. Now what I do, I write numbers different sizes. That way it's like this. I'll show you. Write SB, that's for Srimad Bhagavatam. Then write 6, but make the 1 smaller. Now there's a reason for this. Because it differentiates. Oh, the 6 is the canto. And the 1 is the chapter. Always do things so it's easier to sort things out, break them up. So SB 6.1. Now underneath you have a little bit of, usually maybe 1 or 2 spaces, write in print the chapter title, because you know it. What's the chapter title? The History of the Life of Jamya. So you're now going to fill in your Excel study chart. The History of the Life of a Jamil is pretty good. Yeah, just write it small, and maybe try to take up no more than 2 spaces. Don't take up too much space. But you're going to put, what's the title of 6.1? It's the History of the Life of a Jamil. Because this you should know now. You've just learned it, but now you want to take a further step. You've come all the way, you want to go home with a full suitcase. Yeah, on the line. You can just maybe take 2 lines at the most. Don't, because you need, what we're going to do is put essential facts in here. You put a little dot and you put important names or facts. Because this is going to be your facts sheet. Who's in this canto? Okay? Everybody okay with this so far? Now, in the next space, you're going to put SB 6.1? 2. 6.2. Okay, because now it's in a new format. It's not the eyelash. What's 6.2? What's the title? Jamil, delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. So you can write that small, but write it out. Because before it was a code, but now the whole thing is there for your reference. Print is good, but if you want to write script, it's okay, because this is your personal study chart. So now you're becoming much more in-depth about your study. But first you have to define the outline. Then you can go deeply. It's like a house. If this foundation is strong, it can go very high. If it's shaky, so study should be like that. Every step should be solid. I take a solid step, and then I take another solid step. Our third column should be SB 6.3. Now, don't look at your chart. Do you remember what that one was? Good. Yamaraj instructs his messengers. So fill that in a couple of spaces. Because this is actually now a good test of your memory. Go over one more column, because we're setting up the structure now for a more in-depth study. We're not going to try to do all of them. Time is limited, and we've had to do a lot of backtracking to get people on board. But we want to get everybody who's been here before into a new dimension. So this is 6 point... Oh, sorry, I'm moving ahead here. Sorry. Srimad Bhagavatam 6.4. Now, do you remember that one? Hamsaguya prayers. Very good. You're becoming quite scholarly. The Hamsaguya prayers. Are you all learning something today? Yes. Good. Good. You feeling happy? Because when you learn about Krishna, he's happy inside, and you become happy. That's the secret to happiness. If you hear and talk about Krishna, you become happy. If you hear and talk about something else, it's the croaking of a frog who invites the snake to swallow him up. Make sure you never talk about anything but Krishna. It's the safe and sure way. Okay? Let's try SB, next column. 6.5. And what happens in this column? Oh, you scholars are too learned for me. Well, they're going to go home and they're going to tell their husbands, if they have husbands or their friends, all about the 6th canto, huh? All right, that was column 5. Let's go over in our little fact sheet now. We'll just do 6 columns. 6.6. Do you remember that one? Right, the ladies who made the reptiles and the birds and the fish and the snakes and the animals, insects, plants. Quite an amazing part of the Bhagavatam, huh? Okay. So now we have, we're running a little short on time. We're going to open now our Bhagavatam condensed version. And we're going, how many of you at home, you have your own Bhagavatams? You all have Bhagavatams? And if you're going to do any studying together, of course, next week we'll also continue here. I don't know if you can all come again, but what you do, here's the next study skill. Well, we have the condensed Bhagavatam here. If you have the complete one, that's better. Here we can't bring in all those heavy books. And I don't have a place to store them. And I can only store 10 of these. So what we're going to do really fast is show you what the next step is. You can open it, I don't know what the page is in the condensed version, to the Bhagavatam 6th Canto. Now the disadvantage of the condensed version is that it doesn't really give you chapter breakdowns. So that's a little hard. Is it 74? You're all going to have to tell me because I don't have mine open and I don't want to put my glasses on because I don't do well with, I'm farsighted and when I see text it's... So page 74? 174. All right. What we're going to do in our list is put, as you go through it, any important names. Who is in the 6.1? Who? Remember, the 6 questions you ask is who, what, when, where, why, and how. But the most important thing is the who. So we're going to put Parikshit in one column. You put a little dot, and then you write Parikshit. And you think, well, yeah, but I know he's... But it's really important because he's the one that's asking the important question. Why atonement? It doesn't work. This is actually referred to in the Nectar of Instruction. And this morning our class on the radio was about this same question. Brilliant class. Prabhupada, so heavy. I mean, it was so heavy I was terrified. Believe or not believe, you are all subject to the reactions of your actions. Believe or not believe. And atonement doesn't work. Everyone has to pay. And the root cause sin is not destroyed. Only devotional service frees one from reaction and destroys sin at the root. So clear. Everyone has to pay. Killing an ant, you have to pay. Just walking and breathing, you're building up sinful reactions. All of us are subject to being penalized, punished. Everyone in the material world. Nobody escapes. Only those who practice devotional service. So, put Parikshit. And who else should you put? Who's next? Sukadev. Yes, you just go through the book and you say, okay, so we're going to just do chapter 1 because we don't have time for more than that. We want to run it through. Sukadev is the next personality that comes up. And here comes the important question. He said, well, he says he goes back and he does a connection with Canto 5. All these hellish planets have been described. How can we prevent people from going down to hellish suffering? And then he says, answer my doubts, please. So Sukadev gives 2 kinds of answers. He gives a Karma Kanda answer and he gives a Jnana Karma Kanda, a way to do atonement according to the Vedas. He tests. And Parikshit's too smart. He said, no, that doesn't work. Like the elephant taking a bath and then puts the dirt on again. And then he says, oh, we'll perform austerity. That's jnana. Yeah, but you can fall from that. That doesn't work. So he has proven, he has tested him. So the real answer is what? Devotional service. And then he tells the history of Ajamil. Because Ajamil did the worst of every sin possible. And just because he uttered the name Narayan, he was immediately freed from being in the jurisdiction of Yamaraj's messengers. Just by saying Narayan, offenses, immediately he was out of their jurisdiction. Don't go near the devotees. Okay? So what other names do you want to put in here? Ajamil? Okay, Ajamil. So run through your text. What other names do you want to put? His little boy, Narayan. Oh, how about the place? Where did this history happen? Does it mention it there? Maybe it doesn't in that book. Kanya Kubja, right? This was the place of this history. Any names you find that are interesting, you should write them in.
It reminds you that devotional service is within Supreme Way actually.
If you want to put those points in, right, because they give those arguments, and you can also write the elephant's bath. Anything that you think is an important point. Actually, this is a very small place. You can, go home and take out whole notebooks and make a whole list of everything you think is important here. 88 years. What's 88 years?
His age.
His age, right, his age. How many Yamadutas? 3, I think it's 3, isn't it? 3. Yamadutas, 3. 3 Yamadutas. Were they handsome? No. Yeah, you could mention his beautiful wife. He left his wife. Oh, here's something good. Here's something good. 6.142. The sun, fire, sky, air, demigods, moon, evening, day, night, directions, water, land, and supersol. Witness everything. 10 witnesses. Sun, fire, sky, air, demigods, moon. People who don't believe in punishment in the next life, they say, well, how do we know? 10 witnesses. The sun sees everything we do. Fire, sky, air. And anybody not around the air? Demigods, moon, evening, day, night. The directions, water, land, and super soul sees everything. Plus Yamaraj. It is said that Yamaraj knows as much as Brahma. He knows everything. They go to him, he just gives the judgment. He doesn't even have to check a list. So you got the idea of what to do with these charts now? You can go through and make your own study list. And if you want to make a bigger one, you can take a bigger notebook and do the same thing. Okay? Now those of you who are regularly here, next time you must bring this if you come again, because I'm not giving you another one. And we will do more titles and chapters and references. It's really important for you to actually start knowing how to get into these cantos. Okay? So I think that that's the conclusion for today, and the prasadam will be passed out. Now listen carefully. You have a tray. If you will kindly put your materials in your tray, And you may keep your study sheets. I hope you, yes, those are yours. No, those belong to the class. You take home your study sheets. I get those photocopied and they're a lot of work. I'll try because she asked me for it too and I haven't had a chance. I get them photocopied and then I... Yeah, what I'm going to do is make a copy for Krishnamai and get your prasadam, and we'll say Bancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Vipasindhubhyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebho, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shannon, how are you feeling? Okay? Still jet lagged a little bit, huh? You look pretty tired. Get as much rest as you can. Yeah, because once it starts...